Got more than one overlay. Hello, 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 hello.
Hey, ooh, I'm all raspy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh Lord. Hey y'all.
That's okay about you being raspy, girl. You've been getting it in and grinding. You've been getting it in. So, look, if your voice is a little bit on the DMX side,
A
that's
little on
all
the
right.
DMX side. A
It's
little on
like
the
if you
DMX
sound a little
side.
bit like the dog, it's all right.
It's all right. It's all right.
Yeah. We're gonna start out today by acknowledging all of the families that are dealing with different situations. You know, he had a phenomenal service.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, he had a phenomenal service.
Yes, yes,
And
yes, yes.
I am just, but when I say everything was over and done with when the honorable minister
Louis Farrakhan, honey.
got finished, all they had to do was turn around and take the body, do the interment, and go back and eat some chicken.
Yeah, chicken time.
I mean, he laid it out, but they had a phenomenal service.
Right.
And I was really happy that they had initially said that it was going to be a private service. But I was so happy when they decided to make it public for us to share in that experience with them. Hey, sister, how are you? It is good to see you.
Hey, Sissy.
And how are you? It's
Hey,
good to
other
see
Sissy.
you. Look, how's the weather down there? It's hot up here, so I know you all are probably feeling like you all are next to the equator. Oh man. But we're gonna just go ahead and jump in um, into today's topic.
Toxic relationships.
Are you single?
Yeah.
Are you taken?
Yeah, no.
Are you addicted or a part of, and I love the way you put this, are you in an entanglement with toxicity?
Yes.
I had to say it slow because it's like
I know.
so. As you all know, I'm always seeing stuff and oh, great evening, Annette. Thank you so much. It is spring and wonderful things are happening in the world today. Uh yeah, we know what you're doing. You're getting it in. You working. You working.
No.
We appreciate you tuning in just to listen. Oh, so she's actually got some decent weather. She said it's nice, it's mild and overcast. So, okay, so it's helping to keep it somewhat cool for you all. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, because it's yeah hot up here, like hot. Hey, sugar, how you doing?
So I'm actually gonna kick it off.
Kick it, baby, kick it.
Because one of the books that is near and dear to my heart, and I give it to people all the time. But I had to, I have to at times reread it for myself, and I'm just gonna be real with y'all because we all struggle sometimes. But one of the books is He's Just Not That Into You.
That sounds like something I need to read.
Wow, your husband loved. Never mind.
No, I'm just saying it's just one of those things that it seems like it would be interesting to have in the brain for, because people call us all the time.
Right. Yeah, they do. So I'm just going to read a couple quotes just to kind of kick things off a little bit. You picked a lemon. Throw it away. Lemonade is overrated.
That's why I guess I like limeade.
Freaks should remain at the circus, not in your apartment. Now that's
Oh.
you know, you already have one asshole, you don't need another. Make a space in your life for the glorious things you deserve. Have faith.
Hmm.
Don't be flattered that he misses you. He should miss you. You are deeply missable. However, he's still the same person who just broke up with you. Remember, the only reason he can miss you is because he's choosing every day not to be with you. Now, I am going to say that the he, she's, and this is they flip flop them if you need to. I'm reading directly the quotes, but flip flop them how you need to.
Y'all want to read that?
Let's start with this statistic. You are delicious. Be brave, my sweet. I know you can get lonely. You see, this is how it ties back into the toxicity.
Mm-hmm.
I know you can crave companionship and sex and love so badly that it physically hurts. Now, I've done that.
Mm.
But I truly believe that the only way you can find out that there's something better out there is to first believe there's something better out there. What other choice is there? So this is the one. So these last two especially, tie back into the toxicity. Here's something else to think about. Calling when you say you're going to is the very first brick in the house you are building of love and trust.
Mm.
If he can't lay this one stupid brick down, you ain't never gonna have a house, baby. And it's cold outside. Not right now, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So let's dive in.
Again, I'm glad I like limeade. No, I'm just picking. That there's so many. Oh my goodness, there's so many pieces. There's so many pieces that we could start with.
Which one you want to pick first?
Let's just go down the line.
Girl, when folks is busy. Now, there are some folks who are genuinely busy. I am one of those people that is genuinely busy.
3 hours of sleep.
3 hours of sleep, 12-hour days, 3 hours of sleep. I am a busy individual. But I will stop and make time for those that I care about.
Yeah, you do.
This is not even my romantic partner. But if she calls me, guess what? I'm going to walk away. I'm going to get off that forklift. I might talk to her up in the rafters and just not tell her I'm up in the rafters, but I'll talk to her while I'm up in the rafters. But I will get off the forklift. I will step outside. I will go in the conference room and close the door. My daughter calls. My mother calls. My mother calls. She might be watching. But seriously, yeah, no, those, my loved ones, those people that I truly care about. And don't let me have a boo, honey. Because every now and then I get one of those. And I'll be like, hi, how you doing?
Every now and then somebody is deemed worthy.
Every now and then. Like I said, I'll get off the forklift and be like, hey, how you doing? So never, never, never. And like I said, these are words, sometimes to myself too. Never, never, never let a person tell you that they are too busy to say hello. How you doing? To check in on you and have a conversation with you. Because if you too busy to have a conversation with me, you too busy to let in with me or to have a place in my life.
Right, because your head is already chug full. Hey, Kiana. Hi, Melissa. Thank you for joining us, sisters. But I want to definitely bring attention to this post. You need more rest, Key. Important to your health. Thank you, Annette. Thank you,
I'm working
Annette.
on it. I was asleep right before we came out.
Right.
I was asleep. I came home early. Because like right now we have mandatory 12. So when I get off here, I'll probably log in from home. Like I'm not going back out. My job is about 35 minutes away. So I'm not going back to the office, but I'll probably log in for a little while. But I'm gonna go to bed at a reasonable time tonight. I'm not gonna stay out all night.
Okay, well, what we'll do is we're just gonna go ahead and go straight into it. I'm going to do a screen share of this particular article.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
And this is actually part of what brought the self-sabotage topic to us.
Yeah.
As you all see the topic, breakup induced confusion about one's self-identity helps explain the desire to get back together with an ex-partner.
Yep.
Now, I'm about to drop this in the actual, she said, good. We love you and need you to take care of yourself. Yes, we do. You. I'm dropping the actual article into the feed for those of you that may want to go back later and reference it. What in the ever-loving world was that?
It looks like it broke it. What was that? That was the tail end of it. Yeah, so the last line of it went over into...
Oh, okay. So it's okay.
Yeah, it's good. It's okay.
Okay. But we're going to go ahead and run into this and kind of go through it. And it says romantic breakups can shake our sense of identity. After the delusion of a relationship, people can feel as if a part of themselves have gone missing. I've heard that.
Lost myself.
Yeah. And then, right. And it's like if a marriage breaks up, it's like I've heard people say it's like death.
Yeah.
Like like death.
Absolutely.
And so it says, it goes down through saying several different things along that line. But it says, although we may not want them to, romantic relationships often end eliciting a range of emotions. Commonly, these emotions are negative and range from moderate emotional discomfort to severe distresses.
Yeah, I did that. When KZ and I broke up, I did that. Yeah. So, we'd been together. He was my best friend before he was anything else. And so before we had Kay, we had been together in and out for probably a good 7 years. But again, he started off as my best friend. And so we talked daily. We did, we spent so much time together. And then when, we became more than friends, so then it was, the children became my children because he had other children. And so then the children became my children. But when we divided, when I said enough is enough, when I'd had enough lemonade without sweetener, and I came back to Indiana the first time. Mm-hmm. No, the last time, when 2003, when I came back, when I just completely was just like, okay, this is it, we're done, this and that and the other. Like I for real went through that whole, I felt like a piece of me was gone, I really felt like I had lost a part of my soul because, again, that had been my best friend. So it was like I had lost a part of my soul in my mind, to my knowledge, to my feeling. Um, and I was on a medication for a minute, quick minute, because my mom was like, we don't do that. You know, old folks, they don't believe in, the mental health and medication. No, we don't do that. And it took a while for me to get back to me. And I kept trying to listen I was listening to the garbage. We can work this out. It'll be all good. I love you. I miss you. Come home. We're a family. Da, 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 da. And I was just like, yeah, we are. We are. My mama thumped me inside my head one day. It was so funny. She had just come back from some business trip. And literally, physically, no joke, I was like, Mama, I don't know. He said this and this and this and this. And y'all have to know my mother. My mother is every bit of 6'12", or back in the day, very statuesque woman, very business. People used to talk about, she don't walk, she floats. And this woman, I was sitting there, across, she was sitting in her chair, and I was sitting across the couch. She said, come here. I said, huh? She said, come here. I said, what, Mama? She said, come here, just look closer. I was like, what? She went plunk right upside my forehead. I was like, oh. She was like, you better not ever. Girl, you better go look at yourself in the mirror and figure out what the hell's going on. You better not ever. I better not ever. I better not ever. You better not ever. And when I tell you, it literally took her thumping me in my head for me to be like, okay, maybe that's not a good idea. But when she said to go stand in the mirror and look at yourself, see yourself, see your value, see your worth, see yourself as a whole individual without him. And that's when my journey to healing began. And when I was able to, it didn't take right then for me to be able to be like, okay, we can go back to this co-parenting thing, because again, there are many children involved. We can go back to co-parenting or whatever, but it wasn't an immediate, but that was the journey on that road. But yeah, I get that. When I talk about a toxic relationship, but yeah, I get that.
Hey,
yeah.
And Annette said something good. And friendship is so important to a relationship that grows into something big. Absolutely. And you are so correct. Absolutely. She is so correct on that. And so the next piece of that article goes on to say, while most people will experience relationship breakup, little is known about how people overcome these negative feelings. And she goes on to say that they were interested in the topic because there seemed to be a gap in the literature on breakup recovery that was not yet fully understood and things of that nature. The emotional, like you were just saying, the emotional side of it versus the cognitive effects of romantic relationship termination. And so it says, our study considered relationship rekindling, wanting to get back with an ex, as one avenue people may consider for relieving breakup related stress. Yep. Notably, this was a preliminary step in a line of research that can provide context to post-dissolution thoughts, feelings, and behavior, and after further investigation, perhaps offer insight and intervention to those suffering emotional distress. Forgive me, you all, I misspoke. After relationship dissolution. It says that they had 361 people who participated. and had experienced a serious breakup within the 2 years indicated. And they said that they wanted to get back with their ex.
Yeah.
And it's understandable, and the researchers found that those with higher levels of attachment anxiety, that's a phrase I need everybody to remember. Attachment anxiety tended to express a greater desire to rekindle their previous relationship. In other words, those who agree with statements such as, I need a lot of reassurance and love from my partner, were more likely to also agree with statements such as, I tried to spend time with my ex-partner and I tried to rekindle my relationship with my ex-partner.
Oof.
Now, I'm going to say this, because we're being rather transparent in this show.
Yeah.
That's okay. Welcome, twin. We're just now getting the party started. Thank you for joining. What, I've done and I was never really get back kind of person. If we were done, we were done.
Yeah.
But there was a situation with a guy that I was with, and he and I we were good together.
Yeah.
We, kind of like you were talking about with the best friend, but we were good together. The sex was good, the communication was good. He was a great cook. So, me being a foodie, that worked out beautifully for me. But when we broke up, it was due to some things where trust was violated. And it didn't necessarily involve another woman, but that trust was violated. And for me, and I'm better now, but at that point in time in my life, you only had one opportunity to mess up.
Mm-hmm.
And he called family members. This guy even called my mother, talking about whatever. My dad was deceased at this point, but whatever I've got to do to get back with her, blah, 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 whoop-de-woo, so on and so forth. And I was like, I'm not hearing it. But while my head was saying I'm not hearing it, my soul was being ripped out. My pillow stayed wet. It was just like, I became the master of a facade. I learned how to, I created a public persona for those that knew about us and that knew we had broken up, because it was like, I didn't want to go down that road of, well, just, things happen, and I don't want to hear it. But everything in me missed him. Everything in me wanted to go back.
Mm-hmm.
But, well, I'll just go ahead and say what it was. We had a disagreement about something really, really minor, but he'd had a bad day. And his bad day turned into a physical situation for me.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like he punched me or anything like that, but I was one, of the mindset, I'm not going to let it go beyond that. So when that, and this is the first time I've ever, oh my goodness, verbalized what our conflict was and why I left. Wow. I was in Atlanta at the time. I was actually engaged to this dude. So when that happened, it was just like, it's a wrap. But everything in me wanted to go back.
Yeah.
Everything.
Amen.
And so I get that. But it's like, how do you act and feel during relationships may influence how you respond to breakup. If you are in high attachment anxiety, you may feel as though your relationship is an especially large part of your identity.
Ooh.
Now, like I said, a lot of people knew me and this guy. He was a business owner in the metro Atlanta area, very affluent. So there were a lot of people that knew that we were together. And so that's why I said I had to create this public persona to shield myself from the incessant breakdowns that I was experiencing. You know, one of those, you don't let them see you sweat. They hurt you, okay, that's fine. Yeah. But you don't let them see it. Go to the bathroom. If you need to cry, go to the bathroom and cry. Yeah. Clean your face up. Yeah. And then come on back out and conquer the world. That's how we do it. And it was, you know, that was just the way things were done. Yeah, that's the way we were taught. Yeah, I told you, she thumped me in my forehead. You don't let them see your weakness. That lady thumped me in my forehead. I'm not playing. Right. And because of this, they're talking about the person being a large part of your identity. Because of this, breakups may be exceptionally distressing, and you may feel that getting back together with an ex is a logical option. I mean, why would you lose your partner? Why would losing your partner feel this bad if it were the right thing to do? You might want to interpret this negative emotion as a sign that you should get back together. However, this may not be the best option. You think? Instead, consider you may be feeling high levels of distress because you have just lost a part of your identity. Yes. Do not rush back into a relationship because breaking up hurts at first. Your pain is valid. But over time, your sense of self can be restored without rekindling the relationship. Go stand in that mirror, honey. Right. Stand in that mirror. Right. And in the second survey, you know, well, they talk about the first one. The first survey asked participants to recall how much they desired to rekindle their relationship with their ex immediately after, but the participants' recollections may not have been entirely accurate. This cognitive time travel can influence response people provide, since people can be inaccurate in predicting and remembering emotions. Okay, so I just want to touch on this point. Please do. So when you get to talking about being in an emotional state, I try very, 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 very hard not to allow my emotions to lead me. I try even on a daily basis because I have a bit of a temper. I have a bit of a temper. But even that's an emotion. That's an emotional reaction. So I try very, very hard, especially in the job that I did, because some of them people, Lord Jesus, love y'all. Anyway, but so I try very hard to not react or to not let my emotions lead me, which is not always a good thing, but for the most part, not to allow my emotions to lead me. And so then when you go back to the cognitive or the logic, as opposed to the cognitive versus the emotional.
And I think a lot of times we, especially as women, men do it too, but especially as women, because we were created to be, more nurturing, more loving, more, just open and more sensitive, and to be receptors. So to have to balance those two, and to have to weigh those two against each other. And sometimes that is damn near impossible.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you get so caught up in your emotion. You get so caught up in the old boo-hoo and why does this feel this way and what that world, But yeah, you have to take that break. You have to make that distance. And you have to, let love lead, but honey, take your brain with you.
Girl, that's a whole post.
Let love lead, but take your brain with you. Because, your heart will get you, you'll be all caught up, and it's great and it's wonderful. And there's birds singing and there's butterflies and there's rose petals everywhere. And then there's a little storm cloud over there in the back going, hey, Jiminy Cricket. Wasn't that his name? The little Pinocchio, wasn't his name Jiminy Cricket? Jiminy Cricket's in the background going, excuse me.
You said let love
lead, but take your brain with you, honey.
But take your brain with you. Key. Yes.
That's just one of those things, just take your brain with you.
Yeah. Now you said something then. Yeah. I think I need to put that on my wall too.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
The quickest way to rectify that mistake, choosing the wrong person, is by learning from that. We got to talking about, loving and being cognizant. Moving on and choosing much more wisely in the future. Okay, now I'm gonna tell y'all, don't be like me and just dig in your heels and be like, you know what? I ain't doing this shit no more.
And then she got dragged into a relationship and she didn't even know she was.
Listen, when I tell you, I was sitting up here and I was talking to my sister one day, y'all, and I was like, wait a minute. I'm in a whole relationship. I don't think I signed up for this. I didn't sign up for this. And I knew I didn't sign up for it, one, because emotionally I was not healed yet. Emotionally, I was very angry. I was very hurt. And that person was, not nearby. And even if that person had been nearby, at that point in time, I wasn't ready to open the lines of communication with him again. But I was talking to Sissy one day and I was just like,
your last two relationships, you were told you were in a relationship. I was like, well, you were told. That's funny.
Wait a minute. And like this last one, honey, it was a whole surprise, because it wasn't even supposed to be that. It was, this daggone man talk too goddamn much and he won't shut up. And then, he was just like, and now that we together, and he just kept talking. And I'm like, he's sitting there talking, y'all. He's sitting there talking. He done said, and now that we together, and he's still talking. He was probably talking for a whole nother 25 minutes, y'all. Like, I'm not joking. During this time that he's talking, I'm texting her, and I'm like, this fool just said to me, now that we're together.
I'm in a whole relationship and don't know it.
Again, I'm like, you know what? We're not even having conversations. So
you're gonna have to make a checklist. We are just dating, getting to know each other.
Listen, I don't even want to do that.
We are going to have the conversation. Look, the date that are we moving beyond friendship conversation? You're gonna have to start putting dates on stuff.
I ain't got no male friends. I mean, my male friends are like, we can chat online. We can chit chat back. Let's go out to dinner. Nope.
That she should be.
Let me come over. Nope. Well, let's go out. Nope. We ain't doing none of that.
Oh yeah, she's locked the whole front the front door. Yeah.
I had one who was like,
hold on.
Let me just take your car. I'm gonna go and service your car. I was like, oh, that's so sweet. He was like, and then we can, maybe like go and grab dinner afterward. I was like, never mind. I'll take care of my own damn car. I get my brother-in-law to do it. I'm not messing with you. I'm good, thanks. I got something to do. I gotta go home. I'm tired.
Right. And it's like, okay, so the second survey talked about participants wanting to report how they currently desire to rekindle their past relationship. But future research could go a step further. They talked about that. Following couples over time and capturing feelings about breakup, their sense of self, and rekindling desire as they happen in real time. Now, honestly, it says further, the question remains, if rekindling is not the best way to restore self-concept clarity, what is?
If you don't go stand in that daggone mirror
and pluck your own forehead.
I'm going to say to that, you need to be real deep, close, intimate friends with self before you even consider taking that step backwards. And I can't even say taking that step backwards, but going into that relationship. I think sometimes it talks about, you lose your sense of self, or you get so caught up in, part of your identity being this person. You are a whole being all by yourself. I saw this meme and it was just like, come to me, and we can heal and grow, together. And I'm like, screw that. Come to me healed so we can love each other properly and grow together. Don't come to me needing healing. I am a nurturer. I am an empath. I am a healer by nature. And that's why can't nobody cross the threshold right now, because I need to work on me. I need to take care of me. I need to breathe, reconnect, and become what was that? What was it? The minister and the wives of the intimate allies.
Yes.
I need to be an intimate ally with myself.
Mm-hmm. That's deep.
Before I try to be an intimate ally with anybody else at this point in time in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's been a whole lot of lemonade. They come in all different weird little flavors. Peach lemonade, chocolate lemonade, dark chocolate lemonade, mocha chocolate lemonade. I want more lemonade right now.
We're about to delve into that. Now we're talking about self-sabotage.
Yes.
And one of the things that now I have had that good old-fashioned farewell sex. This is, it's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. So let's make it a little bit easier and go ahead and connect real quick, because you said something in one of the whatchamacallits that you read where it mentioned getting back with or going back or something. It was one of the ones that you had read, and I was like, yeah. But it's like, a lot of times we justify it because, well, I know that person.
Mm-hmm.
That person knows what I like. I know what that person likes. So, we're not together, but when I need to be touched up. That's gonna be my spooky. I'm guilty of that.
The monster, the monster,
I'm guilty of that. It's like, not thinking about the fact that I don't know what this clown doing when we ain't together. Well, he's strapped up anyway, but that's beside the point. But it's like I don't know what this cat's doing when we're not, because we're not in a relationship. So when we finally did do the actual breakup, where all the sex was stopped, all the communication was over, it was like I went through physical withdrawal.
Hell yeah.
And it wasn't so much I was going withdrawals from the sex. I was going through withdrawals because I had gotten so attached to him.
Mm-hmm.
It was like I could smell a certain cologne and my neck was down. That this is months after we're no longer together. I would smell a certain fragrance and my neck would hit that mood.
Let me tell you, everybody who knows me knows I love me some Baby Yoda. Well, Grogu, that's his name. His name is Grogu. It's not Baby. It's just Baby Yoda. Anyway, but Baby Yoda right now has a certain scent to him. Like, I'm not gonna put Baby Yoda outside because I don't want nothing to happen to him. But I'm gonna need him to air the hell out. Because as long as that scent,
put him in the dryer with some fabric sheets.
As long as that, no, because remember it's got a thingy in it. It makes noise and.
Oh yeah.
So as long as that scent is on Baby Yoda about to stay across the room. I'm gonna wave at him. Hi, boo. You're so cute over there. Over there. Because I'm primal. Never mind. But I'm very things like scents and scents and sounds and things like that. They really get my attention. And of course, I'm just like, what in the world? So for me, like you said, that a certain scent would turn your head.
Have you looking and catch a whiplash? Like what the what?
Baby Yoda had me getting up out of the bed one night, probably about 2-3 weeks ago. Following the scent. I was half asleep. Following the scent. I was just like, put him back in the box. Put him back in the box.
So let's hit this head on, y'all, because this is a part of the healing. Because where the other article was talking about how so many of us go back or want to go back. We may not go back in the sense of going back to the relationship, but like you said, we're going back to the monster we know. So me and Gary had a conversation, and I told him, I said, you know what? If we were to ever divorce or God forbid you pass away, I was like, I think I'm going to probably be like my mom and my grandmother and just be like, okay, it's a wrap. Because I can't see myself trying to get somebody back on point.
You can't see yourself having to train a whole new being. Girl, please. You see me.
It would be kind of difficult for me. Mm-hmm. Twin says, sense, music, and images can be serious. Absolutely. Girl, what you say? And see, both of us communicate through music. Girl, time is based on music. Like even now, if we hear certain songs, we'll look at each other and it's be like, Valley. Yeah. Music transports you.
It does.
Music transports you. But I'm gonna hit this article real quick. It says a new study suggests that going to bed with your ex is associated with better outcomes for men than women.
Well, yeah.
The new research published examined the motivational factors and the emotional consequences of post-breakup sexual activity among college students. Now, they're young adults, but this applies to old adults too.
Okay.
So just to put that disclaimer.
It applies to old adults too.
Mm-hmm. It says, I became interested in breakup sex research because I find it fascinating that people still go back to their exes. We live in a society where people can be on dozens of dating apps at once, swiping left and right, or on new partners at any time of day, yet people still contact their exes. Ron Swanson from Parks and Rec had a great quote where he toasts his horrible ex Tammy and says, to exes, may they always stay that way. And although that's the precise definition of the term, people every day contact their ex, whether for sex or just to talk. So is it a fruitful area? So it is a fruitful area of research. And it turns out the term breakup sex has been extensively talked about in popular media, but not scientifically. Although research on X-sex, say that 5 times real quick. X-sex has been studied before. Our project, Breakup Sex, look at the specific period of X-sex right after a breakup, mainly because breakups can be so distressing compared to having sex with an ex from 6 months or a year ago. There are different emotional components with breakup sex.
Okay, so what if you did that? Hey, Nico, so what if the ex that you're having sex with is not the most recent ex? Does it still count?
Familiarity is a spirit, unfortunately. Familiarity typically keeps you bound.
Stay on my brain because you knew what I was asking.
Look, we're gonna be calling ourselves triplets pretty soon.
Man, listen.
Yes, it's like so, you know, when we talk about that, it's like, okay, but what good is it doing other than giving you a good orgasm? Well, if it's good. Orgasm. Well, if he's good.
Well, if it wasn't good, what you doing in the first place?
Well, some people need that physical contact.
That's true. Very true.
Because, you know, sex isn't always good just because you stick and stay. But that's another show. That's another show.
Next article.
Yeah. It goes on and it deals with, it talks about Morin and his colleagues found no significant differences between male and female college students when it came to their relationship quality prior to breakup sex, having breakup sex while still in love with one's partner, and having breakup sex to show the person what they are missing.
Let me put something on your mind.
Right.
Let me remind you.
Right. But you're still my ex. It's like, it also found that men tended to be more receptive to breakup sex compared to women, regardless of their partner's attractiveness or who initiated the breakup. In addition, women were more likely than men to report feeling worse after engaging in breakup sex. To better understand the motivations, the researchers then had 92 college students brainstorm reasons why a person would engage in sexual intercourse with an ex-romantic partner. After the responses were independently reviewed, a list of 52 reasons were compiled. And I can only imagine what all was on that.
They missed the sexual activity because they were bored. And this is the one that this is the difference between college kids and adults. To tell people I did.
get out of the next paragraph. Says sometimes that's all you want
or need
at that time. That part. That part. Because, you know, like I said, this, you know, that's why I put the disclaimer out there that this was going to be one for, you know, parental, you know, advisories. There are times, yeah. There are times where you have, because see, not everybody masturbates. No. Some do, some don't. But, and so for those that don't, that is that their way of getting that release, that built up tension, that stress, that, you know, and so when you're dealing with situations like that, now I'm going to even flip it over to the side, like for the guys, blue ball is real. You know, it is a medical, like for real, they really for real need to release that. Hi, Demetrius, and what a time to come in. Hi. You know, but you know, they for real need to release that, or it'll can negatively affect their physical health. Now, so it makes me wonder, is that, so now I've got some homework I got to do for myself. It makes me wonder if that's the case with women as well. Do we have to release, you know, and is that one of the reasons why sometimes we have physical ailments?
Because I'm gonna tell you, Vicky says, when you hurt, sex can release those endorphins. That feel good feeling. So especially when you are stressed, when you are emotionally drained. Hey, Kimberly. When you are emotionally drained, when you are stressed, when you know, when you don't feel so good about yourself.
To have that, like I said, that
attention, that connection, that, you know, and again, the endorphin release.
But is that helping or is that hurting?
That's on the person. Truly does depend on the person. Because for some people, it is, you know, because sometimes we go into those downward slumps. And whether it's sex with the ex, which we would prefer not to be, or just, you know,
or random.
I won't say random. Not okay, random.
A new boo.
Or just,
a potential boo.
Just
somebody to help relieve the tension.
Hey, Miss Man, tune up. I need a tune up. Change
get out of my head.
I need you to service the engine. So
change the oil, fill the fluids,
you just, you know, all that. That's what it is. It is, you need that tune up. You need that. Okay, let me, you know.
I married mine.
Oh, saints be. Anyway, so you know, you sometimes you just need that. You need that. You know.
I'm just saying that's what he was supposed to be.
Downward slump, you know. And sometimes you just need that, like you said, you need that tune-up. You need, you know, you need your oils changed. You need your fluids refilled. You need your cup, because you pour so much into other people, and you expend so much of yourself into other people, whether it's relationships, whether it's work, whether it's whatever it is, you extend yourself so much. Or you just may be hurting, or just in a, you know, just in a rut. And you need that tune-up. You need that boost. You need that, you know, that endorphin rush. Yeah. Because, you know, at the end of the day, that's kind of what it comes down to, is that endorphin rush.
And I'm glad that she actually said that.
Absolutely.
Because that is truly, you know, because we look at it from, okay, we feel better right now, but from an emotional standpoint, are we doing more harm than good? And like you said, it depends on the person, because some of us know how to separate sex and emotion.
Absolutely.
Whereas others, not so much.
And then the thing about it is, if you're going back to the ex,
emotions
for that sexual release or whatever, then yeah, I can see where it talks about, just compounding, what already doesn't feel good, what already is hurting, what already, has you down in the dumps. So yeah, that, so like they lifted you back up for those few
moments,
those 3 to 5 minutes, and then they just let you back in. And then once they're gone,
that's not even worth taking a shower.
Listen, then you afterwards, you're like, the hell did I just do?
Yeah, because it was only 3 to 5 minutes. I'm sorry. I know that's not what you meant, but.
Well, I don't know. I got our friend on the other show,
Queen.
No, be talking about. I give you the best 3 minutes of my life.
Bless him.
That's what he said.
Bless him. That must be after he's helped you get.
No, he said you get 3 minutes.
Oh well, he can keep that. It's like due to its popularity in the media, individuals may believe that breakup sex is something they should participate in. However, the present results suggest otherwise. Deciding to engage in breakup sex involves a complicated stage in one's relationship, and may disproportionately benefit men. Now, we already said that, of course, that's probably the case. But it says, now that we understand how men and women differ on engagement in breakup sex, we should begin to explore how breakup sex impacts the individual longer term. Do those who engage in breakup sex end up having a more challenging time finding their next partner? Additionally, it might be beneficial to understand how others outside of the relationship perceive couples who engage in breakup sex. Does it cause potential suitors not to be interested?
Why they got all them people up in their business? I don't understand.
I was gonna add that, yeah. And it's
yeah, that one's a hard one. But I will say this. Do those who engage, so there's this thing, a lot of y'all know I'm all about energy and feeling people's energy and this and that and the other. There is a thing called transference. And sometimes, you feeling low and this and that and the other, and then y'all have pity sex. You feel bad for that other person, whatever, whatnot. So then they have, you go ahead, you have sex. And that transference happens. That power, that energy, that transference. So now the one who was feeling horrible about the breakup is like, I'm good now, boo. Thank you. I'm out. And then the one who was, that dipped in the first place was like, oh, well, yeah, wait a minute. Can we talk about it? Nah.
Okay. I don't know which one. Nicole talking about something. Get your friend. The maintenance mind. Look. And Twin, she's sitting up here. She laughed. There's no telling what we were saying when they put this up. But Kamitra, she said those temporary fixes can cause long-lasting emotional effects if you're not strong enough to handle them. Yes. And that is the absolute truth. Beatrice says, whatever that word was, what she said, hypertension, aka blue balls, is not life-threatening unless the fella has other testicular health conditions. Physicians say cold showers work. Yep, I'm still here. I'm so glad you are, because I needed one of my medical professionals to clarify.
So if you dump a cup of ice in his lap, does that work?
according to the doctors.
Okay. I just thought of that.
So when they get too frisky and accidentally on purpose, just dump a cup of ice.
We know I'm good for keeping a cup of ice. So, I mean.
Accidentally on purpose. Yep. But, you know, so just in summary, because, you know, we're getting ready to go ahead and shut it down, but just to summarize everything, the reality is, you know, if one, you know, you're not strong enough to deal with your ex, don't even set yourself up, because, and we're not necessarily just speaking on a sexual level. For those of you that missed the beginning of the show, we're talking just overall at this point.
Yeah.
Because for some, in order to maintain sanity, out of sight, out of mind, so over a period of time, things get better. Because, like I said, for me, it was a situation where I struggled. I struggled when, like I said, when me and that particular ex broke up. It was everything. I mean, every fiber of my soul wanted to go back to that relationship.
Yeah.
And he's doing well. He's married, has a family. And he and I mean, it was maybe about close to about 10 years later when I actually finally saw him again. And when we saw each other, it was like this rush of emotions slapped me in the, because he was still looking good, still smell good. But it was a situation where it was just like, I can't. And this was before he got married. This was before he had his family, but that we actually ran into each other. But it was a situation where I was like, all I kept thinking about was the reason I left.
Yeah.
The reason I would not take those phone calls at that moment. The reason I refused to have the conversations with my mother when, well, you know, XYZ, it's like, all he wants to say, I don't want to hear it, Mom.
Yeah.
And so the fact that she respected that.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
She respected my wishes not to hear the whys, because I don't give a happy ham sandwich what your why was at that moment.
It was sufficient.
It was, yeah.
It was sufficient. We are taught in life, we should try to look, we are taught in life, we should try to look on the bright side, to be optimistic. And we do. Even in relationships, we're always trying to look for that silver lining, even when shit is going downhill real fast. Not in this case. In this case, look on the dark side. Assume and accept the rejection. And assume, because, you know, we always talk about the exception to the rule. You know, you're the exception to the rule. Your relationship is the exception to the rule. Honey, assume that you are the rule and not the exception.
And on that note, there's nothing left to be said.
I got some detox tea in there.
Okay. We are going to call it a day on this thing called life. We appreciate you joining us. And I'm just going to say, go back and just kind of think about some of the things that were said today.
Absolutely.
Because anything that will help you, as you stated in the beginning, to see you,
yes,
and love you wholly and completely,
It is what it is. It is what it is. Don't expect your happiness to come from someone else. But then again, don't allow that person to also be your ruin. So even if you're not looking for your happiness in that other person, don't allow that person to then turn around to ruin you. So yeah, she said, take that L and move on. Amen.
And thank you all. Next week we are I don't know if it's going to be next week but pretty soon we're going to delve into some pretty heavy duty conversations dealing with race.
Hold on to y'all seats, people.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily all going to be about power to the people. Not the way that you expect.
Because it's still power to the people, honey, but not the way that you expect.
So we will see you next Tuesday on this thing called life. Have a good one.